Have you ever stopped to think that, if prosperity comes from effort, why do some people work their whole lives and remain poor? But if it comes from luck, why do so many people make money and then lose it all? Is there a hidden factor that defines who thrives and who keeps fighting? Or does it all come down to discipline and hard work? This is a question that crosses generations, and Jewish tradition has a surprising answer to it. There was a young peasant who, tired of his difficult life and without great prospects, decided to seek guidance from a renowned rabbi. Arriving at the small village, he asked, "Rabbi, why do some people seem to be born lucky, and others, like me, live by effort and never prosper?" The rabbi smiled and replied, "I'll tell you a story. Two men decided to cross a large desert to reach a prosperous city. The first believed that only luck would guide him, and started his journey without planning, without a map and without supplies. The second, on the other hand, knew that the journey would be long and full of challenges. He studied the best route, brought enough food and water, and calculated the risks. Halfway through, the first man, who relied only on chance, had a stroke of luck and found a source of water. Convinced that he would always have new opportunities at his disposal, he continued without worries. But a few days later, without planning, he ended up getting lost and never reaching his destination. Meanwhile, the second man, who had prepared, faced difficulties, but always knew what the next step would be. He came to the city and prospered. The young peasant, confused, asked, "But the first man was lucky. He found a source of water. Why didn't you make it to the end?" The rabbi smiled and said, "Yes, he had Mazal. He had a lucky moment. But luck without preparation is like a boat without a rudder. It may even go with the wind for a while, but eventually it will be carried away where it does not want to go." This story sums up a dilemma that many face in real life. After all, is wealth a matter of destiny or strategy? Do money and opportunities appear for those who have Mazal? Or are effort and intelligence the true pillars of prosperity? There are those who firmly believe that some people are born destined for success and others are not. But there are also those who argue that with work and dedication, anyone can build a prosperous trajectory. The Jewish view on this topic goes beyond what most people realize. The concept of Mazal does not simply mean luck, as many think. In Jewish tradition, Mazal is related to the flow of life, the opportunities that arise, and the circumstances that escape our control. But does this mean that we are stuck with a destiny already written? Absolutely not. Effort and strategy are key to turning a lucky moment into a sustainable path of growth. And that's exactly what we're going to unveil today. Let's explore how Jewish thought balances these two factors and understand what really drives prosperity. If you've ever wondered why some people seem financially blessed while others struggle even though they're hard workers, stick with me until the end, because what you'll discover can completely change the way you view success. If you've ever been in a situation where you felt like you were doing everything right, trying hard, working hard, but still things didn't flow as they should, I want to hear from you. Do you believe that prosperity depends more on effort or luck? Leave your comment below, because this exchange of experiences can help many people who are going through the same dilemma. And if this type of content makes sense to you, stick around. Here, we don't just talk about money. We talk about financial freedom built with intelligence and strategy used by Jews over the centuries. To be part of this community and have access to content that really makes a difference in your financial life, check now if you are already subscribed to the channel. This ensures that you continue to receive valuable lessons to change your mindset and your finances. Now, let's delve deeper into this topic and understand how Judaism really sees the concept of Mazal and how it can influence your path to prosperity. When we talk about Mazal, most people immediately think of the word luck. But in Jewish tradition, this concept goes much deeper than simply having a good or bad fate. Mazal doesn't just mean random luck or an unexpected stroke of fortune. It is linked to a complex system of cosmic influences, opportunities, and right moments. Within Jewish thought, luck is not seen as an absolute factor that defines one's life, but as one of the elements that can contribute to success, as long as it is accompanied by the right choices. The word Mazal comes from the Hebrew root Mazal, which means to flow or to drip. This meaning suggests that luck is not something fixed, but rather a continuous flow of possibilities that cross our path throughout life. This concept goes back to the idea of the Mazalot, that is, the constellations that, according to tradition, exert influence on earthly events. The ancient Jewish sages recognized that the alignment of the stars could symbolize certain trends or opportunities that arise at different times in life. However, there is a crucial detail. Despite this influence, man still has the free will to shape his destiny. This means that while some factors are beyond our control, how we react to them and the decisions we make are determinant of our prosperity. This understanding explains why, to this day, it is common to wish for Mazal Tov, which is often translated as good luck, but which actually carries a much broader meaning. When someone says Mazal Tov, they are not simply wishing them random luck, but rather that they succeed within the stream of certain opportunities that come their way. It is a recognition that there is a balance between luck and action, fate and effort. Jews believe that certain doors can be opened by external factors, but that crossing those doors and seizing opportunities is up to each individual. This mindset has been one of the pillars of Jewish success throughout history. If we look at the trajectory of some of the most successful Jewish entrepreneurs and investors in the world, we see a pattern. Many of them have had unique opportunities throughout their lives, but what really set them apart was the way they knew how to act at the right time. It wasn't just Mazal. It was Mazal combined with strategic decision. Think, for example, of an investor who discovers a market trend before anyone else. He may be lucky to be in the right place at the right time, but if he does not have the knowledge and discernment to act, this opportunity will be wasted. How many people have heard of a promising investment, but hesitated out of fear or lack of preparation and missed a great chance? Similarly, how many promising businesses have failed because their founders relied solely on initial luck without a structured plan? This view explains why so many Jewish families teach their children, from an early age, to identify opportunities and make strategic decisions. Within Jewish culture, it is not enough to wait for luck to arrive. It is necessary to be ready to act when it presents itself. This thinking can be seen in how Jews historically migrated to sectors of the economy that offered opportunities for growth, even when they faced persecution and hardship. In each time and place, they knew how to identify the spaces where they could thrive, and more importantly, prepared to make the most of them. A clear example of this is the way in which Jews, over the centuries, have become leading figures in areas such as finance, commerce, and technology. At times when certain professions were denied to them, many were forced to reinvent themselves and find new opportunities. But what started as a necessity ended up becoming a strategic differential. Rather than hoping that luck would be in their favor, they learned to create their own luck through education, networking, and smart decision-making. This concept can be applied directly to anyone's financial life. Often, opportunities appear disguised as challenges. A moment of crisis may seem like a stroke of bad luck, but for those who are prepared, it can be the perfect chance to grow. Think of how many great fortunes were built in periods of economic recession, when those who had vision and preparation knew how to act before others. This is the difference between those who just hope that luck is on their side and those who create the conditions, so that, when Mazal manifests, they are ready to take advantage of it. The big problem is that many people don't recognize luck when it knocks on the door. They expect opportunities to come packaged in an obvious way, without risk or uncertainty. However, the reality is quite different. Often, Mazal appears in the form of an unexpected contact, an innovative idea, or even a moment of crisis that forces someone out of their comfort zone. The question is, are you prepared to act when that happens? And that's exactly what I want to know from you. Have you ever had a moment in your life when you realized that luck was on your side, but you didn't know how to take advantage of it? Or have you ever been in a situation where everything seemed lost, but it turned out to be a great opportunity? Comment below. This exchange of experiences can help others see how Mazal really works and how we can learn to use it to our advantage. If Mazal means that certain opportunities come at the right time, then why do some people never seem to get those opportunities, while others are always in the right place at the right time? And more importantly, is there a way to influence Mazal himself and make the opportunities work in our favor? The answer to this question can completely change your view of effort and prosperity. And that's exactly what I'm going to tell you. Many people have grown up hearing that hard work is the way to success. We hear stories of people who started from nothing and, with effort and dedication, built fortunes. But if that were the only truth, why do so many people who work tirelessly keep struggling financially, while others seem to find shorter paths to success? Is there a limit to how much effort can actually lead someone to prosperity? Jewish tradition teaches an essential concept called Hishtadlut, which can be translated as obligatory effort. This principle states that each person must do their part before waiting for something to happen. If one wishes to prosper, one cannot simply fold one's arms and hope that luck will solve one's life. But there is an important detail. Effort alone is not enough. Working more hours a day, overloading yourself, and living an exhausting routine are not necessarily the factors that create wealth. If that were the case, the richest people in the world would be those who physically work all day, and we know that this is not what happens. The real difference between those who grow financially and those who remain stagnant is in the quality of the effort. There is a big difference between blind effort and strategic effort. Most people work hard, but without a clear plan, without a long-term vision, and without applying smart financial principles. They believe that the more hours they dedicate to their work, the closer they will be to prosperity. But in Judaism, financial wisdom is not just based on doing more, but rather on doing better. Imagine two merchants who opened identical businesses. The first works from Monday to Monday, does everything alone, and invests all his time in the day-to-day running of the company, but does not have a growth strategy. He does not learn about financial management, does not reinvest in the business, and does not seek to expand his opportunities. The second trader, on the other hand, seeks knowledge, optimizes processes, delegates tasks, learns to invest, and finds ways to make his money work for him. Over time, who do you think will be most successful? The first will continue to be overloaded, stuck in a cycle where he depends on his own daily effort to survive. The second, by applying strategic effort, will create a system that generates prosperity without having to be present all the time. The problem for many people is not a lack of effort, but rather a lack of direction of effort. Working harder doesn't necessarily mean earning more. What makes the difference is understanding where to put energy to get the highest returns. This is the great lesson we see when studying the trajectories of successful Jews in various sectors. They don't just look for jobs that pay well. They look for strategic positions, investment opportunities, businesses that grow for the long term. Not only do they work hard, but they do it smartly. This concept can be clearly seen in the financial market. An employee can spend 40 years of his life working and accumulating a salary, but if he does not know how to invest, at the end of this period he will only have his basic retirement and nothing else. Someone who has understood the principles of strategic endeavor will start early to direct some of their income to long-term investments, building assets that will grow over time. This second individual can, years later, reduce their workload and still live comfortably, because their initial effort was applied strategically. The difference between these two approaches can be summarized as follows. Those who work for money are always chasing after it. Those who make money work for themselves achieve financial freedom. This doesn't mean that effort isn't important, it's essential, but it needs to be well directed, and that's where many people go wrong. We can see this principle in practice through the story of a Jewish entrepreneur named David, who began his financial life in a similar way to many people. He worked 12 hours a day in a small business, and even so, he could barely pay his bills. He believed that the only solution was to work even harder, so he started to double his workload, opening earlier and closing later. But even so, money remained a problem. One day a friend said to him, "David, your problem is not a lack of effort, but a lack of strategy. You work hard, but you're always in the same place. Have you ever thought about making your money work for you?" That phrase completely changed his mindset. He began to study about investments, to understand how he could diversify his sources of income, and to create a plan to grow financially. Instead of just working on the business, he started working on growing the business. Over time, he realized that he was making a mistake that many people make, relying only on work as a source of income. He began investing part of his profits in assets that generated passive returns. He bought rental properties, invested in promising companies, and learned to use his time more efficiently. Within a few years, his effort began to pay off much more because he was applying energy in the right places. This story shows that effort is important, but it needs to have a purpose and an intelligent direction. Many people believe that simply working hard will ensure a comfortable life in the future. But this is not true if there is no strategic plan in place to multiply the fruits of that work. So that you don't miss any details about all this secret knowledge of the Jews that you can only find here, it is very important that you leave your like on the video. Now let's take it a step further and understand how Judaism balances effort and luck to create a solid path to prosperity. If there is something that differentiates the Jewish mentality about prosperity from traditional views, it is the belief in the balance between Mazal and effort. Neither luck alone can sustain success, nor hard work alone is a guarantee of wealth. This is one of the reasons why, throughout history, Jews have thrived even in scenarios of adversity. They understand that there are external forces that can influence their lives, but that the power of decision will always be in their hands. Within the Jewish tradition, the Talmud teaches that man has free will to shape his reality, but that certain events are beyond his control. This is an idea that goes against the thinking of many people who believe that either everything depends on effort or everything depends on luck. The truth is in the middle. Mazal can open doors, but without effort and intelligence, those doors can close quickly. Similarly, effort without strategy can just be a never-ending struggle with no concrete results. Imagine an investor who enters the financial market believing that he can simply copy someone else's strategies and become a millionaire. He relies only on luck and does not study the fundamentals of the market, does not understand the risks, and does not prepare for moments of crisis. In a short time, he loses everything. Now think about the opposite, a person who works tirelessly, saves money for years, but never takes the initiative to invest or undertake for fear of risking. He accumulates resources, but his wealth does not grow because he is stuck in a model that depends exclusively on his active work. The secret lies in the combination of these two factors. The real success comes when Mazal finds a prepared ground. That means being ready to act when opportunities arise. And more than that, it means actively creating the conditions for these opportunities to appear. Let's take a practical example. A young Jewish man named Aaron grew up in a middle-class family and was always told by his parents the importance of effort. He studied, worked hard, and saved, but he never seemed to be able to make a financial leap. Meanwhile, he saw friends who, with less effort, achieved better results. At a certain point, he began to question whether it was really worth so much effort. That's when a mentor told him, "Aaron, you can't control when the right opportunity will come along, but you can make sure that when it comes, you're ready to take it." This made Aaron completely change his approach. He realized that it wasn't enough to just work. He needed to be strategically positioned to grow. Instead of just saving, he began to study investments. Instead of just working longer hours, he began to build connections with people who could open doors for him. Instead of waiting for luck to come to him, he put himself on the path where the best opportunities used to arise. Sometime later, while talking to a businessman he met at an event, Aaron received a proposal to become a partner in a small business. He had the necessary knowledge, the capital saved, and the right networking. To those looking from the outside, it seemed that he was lucky to be in the right place at the right time. But those who followed her trajectory knew that that moment was the result of years of quiet preparation. This story illustrates a powerful concept within the Jewish mentality. It is not a matter of waiting for luck to knock on the door, but of building the right house for it to want to enter. This balance between Mazal and effort is what separates those who thrive consistently from those who live depending on external factors or struggle relentlessly with no result. The big issue is that many people make one of these two mistakes. Either they rely too much on luck, hoping that something miraculous will happen, or they believe that effort alone is enough. Those who rely only on luck often jump from one opportunity to another, invest without strategy, try to guess what the next big trend will be without study or preparation. The result? Many failures and frustrations. Those who believe only in effort often limit themselves to a routine that keeps them busy, but does not take them to the next level. They work hard, but without expanding their vision, without exploring new paths, without taking risks when necessary. This balance also explains why so many Jewish families succeed in their endeavors. There is a great incentive for its members to work hard, yes, but always with a clear focus on sustainable growth. This means making financial decisions wisely, investing in education, building networks, and knowing when and how to act on opportunities. This approach turns luck into something predictable, because when the work is well directed, the chances of success increase dramatically. If you want to apply this to your life, start by asking yourself, are you building a solid foundation for Mazal to take action? Are you in the right environment, surrounded by the right people, acquiring the necessary knowledge? Often, a small change in the way we look at effort can generate major transformations in the results we achieve. And now I want to hear from you. Do you believe that your success has been more the result of effort or opportunities that have come along the way? Comment below. Your answer can help others reflect on their own choices and see new ways to achieve prosperity. But how to turn this knowledge into action? How to balance Mazal and effort in a practical way to make the best financial decisions and take advantage of the right opportunities? I'll explain exactly how to apply this principle in your life so that prosperity stops being a fluke and becomes a predictable outcome. Knowing how to balance Mazal and effort is essential to transform financial potential into concrete results. The problem is that most people don't know how to identify opportunities around them, and when they appear, they either hesitate too much and miss them, or make impulsive decisions and waste good chances. In Judaism, it is believed that opportunities arise all the time, but it is up to each one to be prepared to see them and make the best use of them. Financial success is not just a matter of luck or effort, but of knowing when to act, when to wait, and when to change strategy. Often the best opportunities don't come with a clear warning. They appear disguised as challenges, unexpected changes, or even crises. In the financial market, for example, those who knew how to identify moments of recession as investment opportunities multiplied their assets. While most people panicked and dumped assets for fear of losing money, prepared investors saw these dips as open doors to buy valuable assets at reduced prices. This strategic vision is what differentiates those who rely only on hard work from those who know how to use Mazal to their advantage. In the business world, this mindset is reflected in the way successful entrepreneurs assess risk and make decisions. It is not uncommon to see people insisting on a business model that has already shown signs of exhaustion, just because they believe that if they keep trying, it will work out eventually. But effort without direction can just be a waste of energy. The real secret is knowing when to insist and when to adapt the strategy. In Jewish thought, there is a concept known as davar be'ito, which means the right thing at the right time. This reinforces the idea that every financial decision should be made based on the right context, at the right time, and with the right conditions. This does not mean waiting indefinitely for the perfect opportunity, but rather developing the sensitivity to recognize when to act and when to wait. To illustrate this, imagine two investors. The first believes that he needs to act all the time to succeed and invests impulsively without deep analysis. He buys stocks at the height of their appreciation and sells in the panic of the falls. The second investor, on the other hand, understands that patience and timing are essential. He observes market movements, studies promising companies and sectors, and only enters when he realizes that the moment is favorable. In the long run, the second investor accumulates much more equity, while the first loses money because they believe that effort and speed are more important than strategy and patience. This logic also applies to the professional career. Many people believe that they need to put their best effort into any job, even if growth is limited. They work overtime, accept all demands, and think that this sacrifice will be rewarded. However, anyone who understands the principle of davar be'ito knows that financial growth does not just come from hard work, but from making strategic decisions at the right time. This may mean changing companies, seeking new qualifications, entering a rising sector, or even undertaking at the right time. In practice, applying this concept requires three fundamental steps. The first is to observe the environment around you. Opportunities are always emerging, but they don't appear the same way for everyone. Those who are aware of market trends, changes in the economy, and innovations in their field are more likely to recognize valuable opportunities before most. This could mean noticing a promising niche market, identifying new demand, or even predicting a financial move before it becomes obvious. The second step is to be prepared to act when the opportunity arises. Many people miss great chances because, when an opportunity appears, they are not ready. This may be because they don't have money saved, because they haven't acquired the necessary knowledge, or because they're still stuck with commitments that limit their flexibility. Those who want to prosper need to create a solid foundation so that when Mazal manifests, it can be enjoyed without hesitation. The third step is to know when to change the strategy. The biggest mistake of those who seek prosperity is to insist too much on a path that is not working. Knowing when to pivot, adjust the route, or even abandon an idea that is not generating results is essential to avoid wasting time and energy. This goes for investments, business, and even personal life. Those who are too attached to effort and do not have the flexibility to adapt miss out on valuable opportunities simply because they cannot see new possibilities. But how to turn all this into a concrete financial plan? The first thing to do is to define a plan that combines personal effort with the identification of external opportunities. This means setting clear goals for savings and investment, but also creating a space to seize unexpected opportunities. A good financial plan should not be rigid, but rather structured enough to ensure security and flexible enough to allow for strategic adjustments when necessary. A practical exercise to apply this in your life is the following. Take a piece of paper and write down 3 opportunities that have come up for you in recent years. Then, analyze how you reacted to them. Did you take advantage of them? Hesitated? Weren't you prepared? This simple exercise can help you notice patterns in your financial behavior and understand if you are balancing luck and effort well on your journey. If there's one thing we can learn from the Jewish mindset about prosperity, it's that true success doesn't come from luck alone, nor solely from effort, but from the way these two elements combine. Those who rely only on Mazal may even find unexpected opportunities, but without preparation, they will hardly be able to sustain them in the long term. On the other hand, those who cling only to effort without strategy often become prisoners of an exhausting routine that does not generate real growth. The secret is in balance, knowing when to act, when to wait, and when to change direction. Prosperity does not happen by chance. If it were just a matter of luck, we would see a lot of rich people without any effort. And if it was just a matter of hard work, everyone who works hard would be a millionaire. But reality shows that this is not how it works. Prosperity is built on smart decisions at the right time. It's about being ready to recognize opportunities and having the necessary preparation to make the most of them. And now I want to ask you an important question. In your financial journey so far, do you feel that your prosperity has come more from luck or effort? Or maybe you've realized that you need to find a better balance between the two. Comment below. Your experience can bring valuable insights to others who are going through the same challenges. You have come this far because you are really looking for a new way of looking at prosperity. It shows that you are ready to change your financial mindset and take it a step further. Here, we don't just talk about money, but about building wealth intelligently and strategically. So check now if you are already subscribed to the channel and continue to be part of this community that is transforming your relationship with money. And get ready for the next video that is appearing to you now, in which I will reveal to you a little-known principle that may be the missing piece to unlock your financial growth in a predictable and sustainable way. You don't want to miss this opportunity. Click now and let's go on this journey together on this.